All right, this is video 6, I believe here. So what I've done is I've taken some of these peppers, I've taken some shallots instead of onions. I like shallots better. I put a bunch of those in your goodie bag. Some Miley mustard, some of this sprayed oil. I chopped those up and put those in here. The last thing that I'm putting into this is, oh, and I did some lemon and lime squeezed in there as well. The last thing I'm doing is gonna be the garlic. The reason why I'm waiting last on the garlic is because I want to show you a really cool trick with this that I learned from watching the movie Goodfellas. If you have not seen the movie Goodfellas, then shame on you. You need to go see that. It's one of the greatest movies ever. Anyways, it's about a bunch of mobsters in prison who don't have access to knives, but they were able to get a hold of a razor blade. And you can cut garlic really as thin with these razor blades like this. To the point where it liquefies in the pan. That's what you want, is garlic so thin that it liquefies in the pan while you're sauteing it. So as you can see, I'm just gonna, it's hard to do this with one hand, but I'm gonna kind of show you that I just use the razor to just, well, you know what, you'll get the idea. Essentially, I'm gonna try and put this in my pocket and do it. Hopefully you can see this. So as you can see, I'm just gonna shave off the pieces really thin. So they're very thin pieces. And then as I get those, I'm gonna chop them even thinner. So you just chop them really thin to where it liquefies in the pan. And these razors are good. I'm giving you this razor as well as some backup razor replacements for this. Anytime you cut garlic, use this sucker and it will make your garlic very thin, delicious. It'll liquefy in the pan as you're sauteing it. And make sure you go see the movie The Goodfellas. And if you watch that with Alexander, he'll thank you for it because it's a total dude movie. But that's where I learned that from. Very good trick. I'm going to throw that in here too. I don't do a whole lot of the garlic, but as you can see, we got a bunch of good stuff. I'm going to throw a little bit more of this stuff in there. And this is where we're going to use the wine. So I'm going to use a little bit of the sherry wine with this. This is kind of the lightest of the wines, but where it's going into a rice, I don't want a very red wine. So I'm going to use a little bit of this, more of a white wine, the sherry. I'm not going to do it too much, but enough cooking wine so that it just gives it a hell of a good flavor. And those are really the fundamentals of sauteing. Those things right there. The garlic so thin that it liquefies. Spraying the olive oil in. Shallots rather than onions. And peppers, I like to use Anaheim. They're not too spicy, but they have a really good taste. I also like to use poblanos and serranos, but it's up to you on those. Those are poblanos and chili hatch are probably the two best flavors, but they're a little bit spicier, so I didn't use those. So anyways, I'm going to turn that on. And I'm going to start sauteing this stuff while we're talking. But between that and the correct wine, that should taste really good here in just a minute. Now, I accidentally put just a little bit of rice in here. Let me get that out. There we go. Okay, now back to our yams. On the yams, we got that stuff really well ground up. You don't want it to be chunky at all. With the yams, you want it to be just like mashed potatoes consistency after boiling it and then mashing it. And then we put in a bunch of sugar. I use that coconut sugar. Now, this drizzle stuff that I made, which was the mushroom, sorry, why did I say mushrooms? Which was the marshmallows and butter sauce that I heated up together. Now I'm going to drizzle that over top, as you can see. Okay, that's just a really good saucy marshmallow and butter sauce that's going to kind of mix down in. To help it mix down in, I like to kind of, it's better with a fork, but it'll work with a spoon. I'm going to kind of just go like this for a minute so that those sauces will soak down in. Now, the next thing I like to do is pecans. I like to buy them already chopped up like this. It makes it easier. So I'm going to take pecans and I'm going to sprinkle those on top of here. So chopped pecans. I know, maybe you're thinking that's gross. Trust me, it's as good as shit right here. I think you'll love it. So kind of mix those in. And then I'm going to go back to those marshmallows. Where the hell did I put those down? Marshmallows. There they are. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put a ton of fucking marshmallows on top of here for you. And that's a lot of sugar, a lot of fat. It's where it's going to really make it delicious. So as you can see, that's where we've got this stuff. It's got the pecans, the butter sauce, it's got the marshmallows. And now I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna bake us at about 300 degrees. I don't wanna do too hot, too cold. Obviously it'll take forever, but 300 is a really good starting point. Usually you have to preheat it. With this, I don't really care to. So I'm just gonna throw that in. We're just gonna let that slow cook for like maybe 45 minutes, but I'm gonna check on it so often. Once those marshmallows are brown on top, then we're good. So now we're done making the yams. When those come out, sorry, you'll find those are delicious. So we got our stuff sauteing right here. This is not going fast enough, so I'm gonna turn that up. I think I have a problem with this heater right here. Now back to our rice. We're gonna check underneath here because we wanna see that it's a golden brown crust underneath. And as I'm lifting that up, it still does not look like we've got a brown crust underneath right there at least. Let's check another place. Nope, still not there. So we're good. It's slow cooking perfectly, which is what we want. As soon as we see a brown crust underneath, then this is done. But we wanna hurry and get this stuff going so that we can put this on top of it to kind of cap it off. Here's our thing here. Okay, good. I'm gonna start kind of stirring this stuff around that we're sauteing for the top mixture. I also like to put chopped up mushrooms into this mixture, but I think I remember you, Jasmine, saying that you're really picky and you don't like mushrooms. Weird as hell, but whatever. I like mushrooms, but you guys don't have to use them. I also left the tomatoes out of this because I remember you saying you hated tomatoes. So, so mushrooms and tomatoes are out. It's just a really good, savory combo that's going to go on top of that rice here in a little bit. We're getting a little bit of steam coming off there, but it's not too bad. So I think we're doing really well with this rice. I like to kind of mix the yellow in with it because we're getting that yellowness up top, but I like to kind of mix it down into it. And it smells like people's breath when I'm down at the bar, which is a good thing. That alcohol, sherry wine is really kicking in there. It's starting to heat up, so I'm smelling it. So that's going there. I'm gonna put in a little bit more of the saffron just because it really gives it a good flavor. So one more thing of saffron. And then after this, I think I'm just gonna show you the last step in the last video, maybe say a goodbye. And then I think that's gonna be the end of this lesson. I really hope that this helps you, kid. I think it's fun to cook for people I love, and I hope that the two of you do that for each other. This is the end of video, I think 6. I'll start the last one, which I think is 7 here in a minute.